gentlemen, let me now please announce Cammy Lynn Cook, who will sing the national anthem. Cammy Lynn. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Cammy Lynn. We will now proceed with the program as outlined on your program. It'll start with Liberty Bell that will be done by the West Valley Symphony. For those who haven't been here before, you're really going to be impressed with the symphony. They're excellent, and we're glad that they can come and perform for us again today. Mr. Donnie Gilbert is the director of the symphony, and we appreciate him and all of their efforts. Then after that musical number, it will be Liberty Bell March, and we'll go to that point. certainly this is a great honor for me to MC today because being able to announce and to participate, having served in the military and myself, to participate in such a program and honoring our veterans. I'm grateful for this opportunity. But at this time here, I want to introduce Corey Rushton, who is a sixth-generation West Valley resident. He received his bachelor's and master's degree from the University of Utah. He married Emily Suzanne, and he was elected to City Council in 2007, and as the Mayor Pro Tem of 2009. After his remarks, we'll have a musical number called Sweet Land of Liberty by James, names were not good for me, Cheskinski. If you don't know, neither will I. I'm sorry about that. Corey?
Give everybody a big, hearty welcome here to the West Valley City's crown jewel here, the Utah Cultural Celebration Center. It's a great place to come and to participate in programs like this that bring us together. A lot of times when we think of culture, we think of things that make us different, but the Cultural Celebration Center is all about things that bring us together, and this is a great event to be here today that the music flowing and get the heart and the blood pumping here. But on behalf of the West Valley City Council, we welcome you here to the Cultural Celebration Center. And as City Council member and Mayor Pro Tem, we often get the opportunity to welcome government officials from either other cities or from the federal government. And as being someone that's traveled to various great cities across the country, you'll notice that oftentimes in the town square there's a cannon, or there's a large marble statue with an equestrian horse general that commemorates a regiment in a certain branch of the armed forces in a certain conflict. And since that is kind of a permanent feature across our country, a lot of times these visiting dignitaries will ask me, they'll say, Corey, where's the West Valley City Memorial to Veterans? And even though we do have a couple markers here and there throughout the city honoring veterans, my answer to them is that, we have a West Valley City Honors to American Heroes Veterans Tribute each Memorial Day weekend. That's presented by our Lions Club and participated in by our West Valley Symphony. And really that's our living tribute to our veterans. And that, to me, having a living tribute is even more special than having a cold marble or a bronze statue somewhere, because it shows ongoing commitment and ongoing honor to our heroes and to our veterans. And so I just want to, on behalf of the City Council, thank everyone for being here today, the distinguished group that's participating in the program, but specifically to President Bill Barton and the Lions Club for his continued work to making our community a better place, and to the West Valley Symphony. And it's something in my philosophy of grateful to the Lions Club, because those groups and those people that, we can't move forward as a city unless we honor and remember the things of the past. And so the Lions Club has done a great, commendable job of doing that. And so the City Council recognizes and thanks them. But I just wanted to point out briefly that I was kind of surprised to learn, as maybe many of you were, that President Lincoln, while he was in office, he actually spent a good chunk of his time just close outside of Washington in a place called the Old Soldiers' Home. And Old Soldiers was kind of the early term, the early non-politically correct term of Veterans Affairs Hospital. And, President Lincoln, he went to this veterans home to, reflect, and he had personal tragedies as well as tragedies of the country, but he really gained solace and a lot of insight in being amongst veterans. And I think that was part of where the Veterans Affairs came out of, that he started, and is to care for those who had borne the battle as well as their widows and their orphans. And so Today, just as kind of the final thought I'd like to leave to you is, as you know, President Lincoln, when he sat up at this old soldiers' home and amongst all these wounded veterans and those that had served our country, he said to them, he said, "Don't worry when you're not recognized, but strive to be worthy of recognition." And so I know we don't maybe honor those servicemen and servicewomen enough in our country for the great work that they do, as well as honoring their families for the sacrifice they do. But here's your day that we do honor you, and again, grateful for your service and grateful to be a small part of this program. And even though we don't recognize you enough, that we're grateful to you that you do live worthily of our everyday recognition. And so thank you again, and enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a safe Memorial Day.
One of the things that's kind of interesting here, as Corey had made mention here, there was something that came to my mind. It wasn't on the program, and I thought maybe I'd share it just because it touched my heart to at least mention this. One of the greatest honors that has been given to the soldiers, all soldiers, okay, was President Lincoln. And I'd taken a class from him, and just before the war had started, he was terrified of what was going to happen. So he calls in a minister. And he says to the minister, "You know, I'm afraid." And he says, I need your prayer. And so he calls him over to his office. And he says, he, being President Lincoln, told the minister to pray in this room, and he'd go in the other room. And while he was in the other room, the minister couldn't believe what he was hearing. He thought he could hear someone crying or someone else in the other room with him. Concerned, he goes in there. President Lincoln was laid out, sprawled on the floor, with his hands kind of like this and just sobbing. And he heard him say, "Oh God, please bless the soldiers on both sides. For today, some are going to die. Please be with them." And he began to cry again. I thought at that point, you know, when I had that story, there's more that goes on, but as Corey had said about the greatest honor we could get is to pray for our soldiers and to be with them, and also for those who have got to die in the course of the end of this thing. And speaking of that, our keynote speaker, who has come to share with us today some of the sacrifices that had to be, that was taken. We're certainly honored to have with us Abe Katz, who will speak about the time that he spent in Germany during World War II. He's one of the survivors of the Auschwitz Concentration Camp. Please excuse the spelling in your program. That is not how it's spelled. It is spelled with an A, but in this case, thank you very much, and Katz.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to thank the Lions Club of West Valley and Mrs. Karen Barton for inviting me here. So thank you very much. My name is Abe Katz, and I'm a survivor. I survived 4 concentration camps. I was born in Breslau, Germany, and my mother and father were born in Poland, and I didn't know how they got to Breslau, how they got to Germany. But when I was about 2 years of age, my grandfather passed away, and I guess we went back to Poland because of that little inheritance what my grandfather left them. And I grew up in Poland. Poland, I want to tell you, was a little country, but a very democratic country. But every time they got built up a little bit and got on their feet, there was another board that was knocked down again. So consequently, when I was about between 13 and 14 years of age, the Second World War, Hitler came marching into Poland. And the day he marched into Poland, everybody had to go, everybody had been 8, 10 years old, everybody had a job. Everybody had to work for the German army. And consequently, I had a job, and I had to go to work. I was sewing saddles for the horses for the German army. So one day in the morning, going to work, they grabbed me in the street, and I never seen my home. Never seen my mother and my father. I was lost as a kid, and I wondered that day when I didn't come home anymore. I was the only son and 2 sisters, and I didn't come home my mother's heart. How you felt, and what was going on in the house when I didn't come home anymore. I had to work, and I want to tell you right now, the only reason I survived, and I'm alive here to tell you this story, it's just because I was young, and I could work. They got lots of use out of me. That's why I'm here. And with God's will, I'm here. Life in Poland was very hard. Poland is still 100 years behind, even by today's standards, it's still 100 years behind for the United States. And life in there is still tough. Anyhow, I come to Auschwitz, and I didn't know where to go, what to do, how to do. They put us together in the barracks, and they made us work, and we worked, and we worked. As they brought new prisoners in, new people, what they rounded up all over Europe. My job was to cut down the trees and make bonfires for the burnt, the gypsies, what they rang up in Hungary and Budapest, and burn them alive, and we had to stay and watch it. As they brought more people in, they didn't have enough room for us. They put us to different camps, and I ended up working in a coal mine, still in Polish soil. I was injured in the coal mine, which the prisoners operated on me. They hold me down. They just find a piece of tin which they heated up on the fire, and the people were sitting on my head and my legs and my hands while they operated on me. But thanks to them, I'm here. They cleaned the guns out, and I'm here to tell you the story. I was in Auschwitz for about 8 months when they brought too many people in there, and they put us into other camps. And it was going on and on every 6 months, 8 months. They transported us, they had to walk to other camps. Walking on the roads, marching from camp to camp, life was very tough. The shoes that we had was wooden soles, with cloth nailed down to the shoes. As we walked in the snow, in the rain, in the mud, the cloth came off from the wood. If we couldn't walk, we just slipped our feet on the ground in order to make it. We had a blanket or so what you had on you. They tore off pieces from the blanket and tied it on their feet. Worked a little bit, another hour, a half an hour long till it got wet and come apart, and that's how we kept going on. The people who couldn't walk anymore would fall behind. All of a sudden we hit another shot, another shot, another shot. They took the rifles and killed them. And at one time I couldn't walk anymore, but I was pretty healthy. I couldn't fit my shoes. And I walked up to the SS guy and I said, "Sir," in German, "Sir, can I have the shoes from that guy with Peter Schultz?" He couldn't walk because he was weak. "I can walk. I'm pretty good. I am healthy. I can walk. Please let me take the shoes off." And he was kind of a good guy. Let me take the shoes off. And I took the shoes off and put down on my feet and kept walking. The circumstances were terrible. If they let us rest an hour or so, we just sit down in the snow and fall asleep till all of a sudden they start screaming up, 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 and up the end and marched again. Food was very scarce. I ate snow for water, but kept us going. If you got a piece of bread once in a while or a little bit of soup, consequently, everybody had a can, like a coffee can, tied down on the side of your belt. If without that coffee can, you can have a drink of water or a little bit of soup if they give it to you. So that was your livelihood, the coffee can. Everybody had a coffee can. Finally, we ended up in Auschwitz. That's what I got freed by the Third American Army. And I'll never forget it when General Dwight Eisenhower came to the camp. And I shook hands with General Dwight Eisenhower. The tears were going from his eyes. The military police, he made him stay outside. He said, "I don't need no protection from the people." And after we got freed, the way we got free, they started evacuating us from Buchenwald. It was, they got up in the morning and the SS got from the gate all the way to every barrack, hand by hand, and out we had to go. Well, we couldn't go anymore. Me and 3 more guys, we decided we must go no place no more. We're going to die right here. So we discovered the sewer. We took the plate out, the round plate from the sewer, and we climbed down there, and we stayed down there, submerged in the stuff till you based. And that's where we stayed there. In the evening, when it got dark, a guy that they called a capo, he came and opened up the plate, and then he covered the plate up after we went down there and opened up, and we crawled out and went back to the barrack. That was going on for about 3-4 days, a week. And all of a sudden, they told us, the Germans, let us know that the camp was mine, that they're going to blow us all apart. Well, one day, we hear cannons going out, the shooting coming closer and closer, and we stayed up there, so we figured that's it. That's the end. And all of a sudden, it was April 17th. The plate opened out in the middle of the day, we see daylight. The guy hold it down, and he said, "Guys coming up." The Americans say here. So we got up there, really filthy. The electric wires were kept. We went out to the highway. We were just skeletons. We could hardly walk. We were dirty, filthy. The soldiers looked at us. The jeeps, the trucks, the cannons, everything, like an army moving forward. Everything they had in their possessions. The cigarette, candy bars, the rations, they sold down. They took their shirt off in their back and showed it to us. And we started grabbing and eating and packing. We didn't eat it, we inhaled it. And consequently, lots of people got free, but they died. Their stomach was so shrunk, they couldn't take it. And they passed away. They never made it. Somehow, I don't know, the good Lord is seeing that I'm still here. And then I was in then I got very sick. And eating all this stuff, I got very sick. And the lady in the buttocks and the dirt and the filth. We had lots of food. The doctors, the medical doctors came by, checked us, gave us a lot of aspirin. It's all what they could have, what they had at that time, and they had to move on. They left us behind. But God willing, they gave us strength to get back to Poland. The way back to Poland wasn't easy either. There was no regular trains. Whatever transportation we could find, whatever got good, we made it back home. Come home, looked around, nobody was there, nobody to find. They talked to the Polish people, our neighbors in the village where we lived. They told us the Germans took my mother, they took him away, and nobody knows what he was, and never he's done since. So we stayed there in Poland, looked around, and we didn't know what to do. I looked for everybody, tried to find my sisters, we couldn't find them. So we hopped another plane, went back to Germany. Stayed in Germany for a while, and then we went back to Poland. At that time, the second time, or the third time we come back to Poland, the Jewish communities already formed a little bit, got together and got organized a little bit. And there was on every corner of the city, on every wall, on every telephone pole. What we did is take a piece of paper, wrote down the names, and said, I'm looking for so-and-so, looking for so-and-so. And we spent hours and hours just looking at little pieces of paper, trying to find something. And luckily, after a while, I found my sister. The imagination, anybody can imagine the joy and the thinking I have when I knocked at my sister's door. And she opened up the door to see me standing in front of her. A lot of joy, a lot of pleasure. And I lived in Poland there for a while. I couldn't find my way there. But it was constantly in my mind, my mother and my father, the family. But there was no answer. I haven't heard from them or seen them since then. I want to tell you, I haven't got a picture of my mother and my father. I wish I would give everything if I would just have a picture. I lay sometimes at night in bed and try to imagine forming a picture in front of my eyes of my mother love. It's very sad. Very sad. I came here to this country. I couldn't talk the language. I didn't know nobody. The Jewish community picked me up on the train after a couple hours waiting for somebody to show up. The cab drivers asked me, where do you want to go? Very. And I said, I don't know. When they showed up, they put me in a hotel, and I stayed there, I looked around the block, so I didn't have to lose my way. And finally, they put me in the hospital and found me a job. My first job was in a bakery with the Board of Health was going to close and down for 60 cents an hour. I worked about 14 hours 2.5 years ago because Mr. Bernard. And I'm here to tell you the story. So, thank you very much.
I don't know how you feel, but I'm very moved by the story that we were just shared with here. It reminds me of Vietnam and my comrades as we would talk about coming home to America and having that opportunity to step foot on this great land. With that in mind, we're going to have the West Valley Symphony play the Sweet Land of Liberty. When they're through with that, they will then play the Armed Forces a salute, and would like to ask that at this time, when you hear that particular number being played, if it's your branch of the service, if you would please stand. And for those who are here for somebody else, to pay tribute for them, and their service is called out, please stand and honor them as well by paying your tribute at that time. Sweet Land of Liberty. like that. Did you guys like that? Last night I spent a lot of time on the internet looking at paying respects and honoring veterans. There is so much out there. There was one thing that they said is, once they're gone, was a website that I went to, and my heart was just overwhelmed by what it had to say. And being able to pay tribute. A very close friend of mine just recently passed away that landed the first beats in Normandy and several others with the Marines. Most people, as you know, didn't survive that, but he was among the few. I reflected upon the things that he said. He didn't talk much about that kind of thing because of the horror. And I'm just really grateful for having a venue like this where we can come and reminisce about those who we love, those who have honored us with their service, and I really appreciate that. And thanks for you guys being here. Share it with your friends. Next year we'll be doing it again. And so we want to make this a little bigger and honor more people as well. It is definitely my pleasure at this time to introduce Bill Barton to you. Most of you probably already know him. I've known him for a number of years, and what an honor it's going to be for me to introduce Bill. He will be giving our closing remarks. He is the president of the Lions Club here in West Valley. Bill?
Thank you, Craig. Boy, it really was inspiring to see the pride that's represented from the various branches of our armed services when their theme song is played. It gives you chills, doesn't it? We want to thank you all for being here. I think Craig mentioned that. I did recognize 3 of our elected officials here. I want to mention their names and have you stand. That's in addition to Councilman Corey Rushton, who addressed it earlier. But we have Representative Fred Cox here. Senator Dan Thatcher. And Councilman Don Christensen at the back there. Is there anybody that I didn't recognize? Okay, thank you. Well, we want to thank the folks that have helped put this together. And of course, the thanks to the West Valley Symphony is self-evident. They're a great group, and each year, each performance, they seem to get better. We want to thank West Valley City for working with us on using this cultural center. Boy Scout Troop 239, who put all the flags out front. West High Naval ROTC, and by the way, Naval is N-A-V-A-L, not on your program, N-A-V-E-L. And especially our sponsors. We have Harmon's, Crownburger's, First Utah Bank, the Utah Barricade, and Hercules. They help make this possible. Thanks to you. At this time, we want to emphasize this event is dedicated to our veterans, and especially those veterans that have given the ultimate sacrifice. We want to do something a little different this year. We've never done this before, but I think it's good that maybe we start recognizing those military personnel from West Valley City who have been killed in action over the past 5 or 6 years. They've joined thousands and thousands of others that have died in the past in saving our freedoms. If we have any families of the following killed in action personnel here, I would like to ask them to stand as I mention the names. Marine Corporal Matthew R. Smith. National Guard Sergeant Brandon Thomas. National Guard Second Lieutenant Scott B. Lundell. Army Sergeant Brandon Parr. Army Staff Sergeant Virgil Martinez. The decision was made in the middle of this last week to do this, and so I'm sorry we probably did not do a good job in getting a hold of the families of these deceased military people. But in future years, we'll continue this, and we want to show the honor for which they have lost their life. Okay, moving on, folks. We're going to go back to the West Valley Symphony and their musical number, which I'm sure you'll enjoy, Stars and Stripes Forever.
Before they do that musical number, one of the things that I wanted to make mention is that naval was spelled right. Only because the core of the military is the Navy. Okay, so we just wanted to make sure that it wasn't misspelled. But anyway, what we wanted to do is that Mr. Donnie Gilbert, the director of the symphony, has a few remarks before he plays, and so we'll give him that time. After they play the Stars and Stripes Forever, we will salute and do taps. It's a little different in your program. The colors will be retrieved after that.
Well, I don't have anything deep or meaningful to say. I just have a shameless plug. Our 20th season finale concert is next Saturday, just up the road here at Granger High School. Concert's free, starts at 8 o'clock, and everybody that's here better be there too. So, all right, the March of the United States of America, Stars and Stripes.
got someone special, the DAV, that was going to play the taps and salute today. They haven't shown up just yet, so someone's going to hopefully be joining on the spot here and play us some taps.